You're listening to the Afro Chi Podcast, a show for my fellow Black female energy healers and the everyday woman who wants to heal her energy in a creative and holistic way. You'll hear from Black female healers who share their knowledge, gifts, and experiences and enlighten you on how to tap into your powerful Black energy to get the results you need to live an energetically free life. If you're ready to become unstuck, find freedom and peace energetically, stay tuned. I'm your host, Kiera Flipping. Hello, Queens, and welcome to Season 2 of the Afro Chi Podcast. I'm so excited about Season 2 because we are focusing on the entire chakra system. Each episode this season will be taking a deep dive into each chakra one by one. If you are just now getting started with us in Season 2, I encourage you to start with Episode 1, the root chakra, and begin to work your way all the way up each chakra one at a time. We have an amazing guest today that is going to educate us on anahata, the heart chakra. Our guest today is the owner of Avalaura's Healing Center, where she offers Reiki intuitive healing, life coaching, couples counseling, Reiki masterminds, Reiki certification training, chakra balancing, cord cutting, dream interpretation, spiritual healing, and meditation training. And you guys, she is also my Reiki master teacher. So I'm so honored to have Miss Avalaura here with us today. How are you?
I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And I am just, I am just loving your growth and everything that you're doing. So, yes, I'm really excited to be here.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And like I mentioned, guys, this is where I got all of my Reiki training from. So I stuck with Avalaura all the way from Reiki 1, all the way to Reiki Masters training. And just in my journey, I was looking for a Black woman to teach me Reiki. I didn't want to learn Reiki from nobody else. It had to be a Black woman. So I was on a hunt, and spirit led me to Avalaura, and I stuck with her all through level 1 all the way through master. So I was just so blessed to find Avalaura and be able to work under her and her lineage in Reiki. So I'm super duper excited to have you on to talk about the heart chakra, to educate us, educate the listeners on anahata. So I want to jump right on in just with you giving us just the basics of the heart chakra. Where is it located? Well, it's called the heart chakra, so I guess the listeners, they'll probably have a little sneak peek of where it's located. But its location, its color, some of the elements, the mantras. So if you could just get us started there with anahata.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to talk about the heart chakra in particular, and I'm sure we'll get into more details about that. But to answer your question, I love the heart chakra because it is, like you said, it's literally in the heart. It is in the center of our chest. And it is all about that bridge between the higher and the lower. So it's located right in the middle. If we go with our 7 chakras, which all your listeners are hearing about, it's right in the center. So you have the 3 lower chakras and you have the 3 upper chakras, and then you have the heart that is here right in the center. Its color, it's green, which I love, which is one of my branding colors. So it's the color green. It also can also be represented by the color pink as well, but it's primarily green. So AKAs will love the heart chakra. Its element is air, which is really, really cool because as we go in and talk more about the chakra, if you think about the element being air, it's all about breathing, right? It's in the heart chakra, it's the lungs. And so when we're having heart chakra issues, if you just simply breathe, right, it will assist with that.
Love it. Love it. And thinking about the heart chakra, just any mantras or the seed sound, like what can somebody say to themselves, like a heart chakra affirmation type of thing for them to really connect and tap into that space?
Yeah, so the heart chakra is all about love in all of its different facets. So
Mm,
not just like romantic love or not even just self-love, but even if just, love of life, right? Just,
mm-hmm,
love of things, love of beauty, appreciation, gratitude. So any affirmation would really be around love, loving
mm-hmm,
yourself, loving others, connection,
mm-hmm.
those things. So it could be something simple as I am love. That could
Love
be a
it.
heart chakra affirmation.
Mm-hmm. And what could you tell us? What are some signs that the heart chakra is imbalanced? What are some ways that we can pick up that, we might need to give a little bit more focus to that area?
Yeah, it's when you had told me like you're going to be talking about the heart chakra, I kind of started laughing because right now in this space of the world, I see so many heart chakra imbalances.
Mm,
Um, on a daily, and so one of the things, so in looking at relationships, this is a primary place where you can see a heart chakra imbalance because again it represents love, it represents your connection with others, relationships. And
mm-hmm,
so when I look at what's going on, one of the imbalances that I see a lot is, first of all, with self, of course, and the feelings of not feeling worthy, um low self-esteem, not having confidence, not feeling like you deserve, all the goodness that life has to offer. So you sort of
mm-hmm,
have that in where it's like a personal heart chakra imbalance. But then there's also a heart chakra imbalance with others, right? Which could
mm-hmm,
come about in insecurity, in jealousy, in codependency,
mm,
in judgment. Like a lot of
mm-hmm.
what I see now is a lot of judgment, like especially on social media where people just don't even give folks the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Yeah.
They do one thing and we immediately automatically think the worst or take
Mm-hmm.
the worst and just drag people through social media. And that's supposed to be cute, right?
Yep.
Like, so
Yep.
that's a serious heart chakra imbalance, like just not even having empathy or compassion for people, not being kind and just automatically judging them, not
Mm-hmm.
giving them a second chance, not forgiving.
Yeah.
So that's a heart chakra imbalance.
I'm,
Um, uh,
I'm glad you mentioned forgiveness. I see
yes,
that a lot in doing therapy when clients are struggling with forgiveness, for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's huge in just not being able to let go.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
a serious heart chakra imbalance. Just, not allowing the past to be the past and not being able to move forward, being stuck. Because anahata literally means unstuck.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're stuck, that's a heart chakra imbalance.
Absolutely. And then also forgiving others, also forgiving self, right? Because I heard you say like the
Absolutely.
mantra, I am loved, I am loving. Like it's outward love is inward love, outward forgiveness, inward forgiveness. That's
Yeah, like love is the basis of all relationships. And it's
mm-hmm.
not, and I know we look at it again as romantic love, but first and foremost is with ourselves. But it's also just the relationship of you in the world.
Yeah.
So it's your relationship with yourself, it's your relationship with the world, with your community, with your family, with your tribe. And then it's the relation, and then it's of course romantic love. So there's so
Mm-hmm.
many different aspects of love. And if you might be good with yourself, but maybe you have problems relating to others, or maybe you have problems just even feeling grounded and centered in this world.
Yeah.
So that's a heart chakra imbalance where you just can't embrace what's happening in the world. You can't be in a space of, I recognize what's going on. Like, let's look at, racism and all these things that are happening. You
Mm-hmm.
can't look at it from a place of, wow, this is happening. I mean, this is horrible, but you have a hard time letting it go, or you just feel, in an empathy way of it, you're so stuck with it, or you just can't, say, wow, this is what's happening, and here's how I'm gonna move on, and here's what I'm gonna do about it. But there's this real sense of powerlessness or
Mm-hmm.
hopelessness because you can't see past the negativity of what's going on.
Absolutely. And that just totally answered my next question of like how when the heart chakra is in balance, like what happens to us mentally, physically, spiritually, like are there any health issues that can come up, or just, and like you were just talking about, just kind of spiritually and mentally, what are some signs that come up for maybe within our bodies, that people can really say, oh wow, like I've been experiencing that, shoot, maybe that's a sign my heart chakra is in balance. What could you say to that?
Absolutely. Well, so one of the things is, again, if you look at the location, it's in the center of the chest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that represents, and think about it. I think heart attack is one of the highest, yes, it's one of the highest causes of death in this country. So you
Mm-hmm.
have a physical heart attack, chest pains, but then you also have the inability to breathe, the
Mm.
lungs, right? So panic attacks, anxiety, all of these things related to our breath and
Mm-hmm.
not getting enough breath. So all of these things, and that looks like being shut down, being
Mm-hmm.
defensive, having these walls up, right? Not allowing people to come into your space, not allowing people to come in, not feeling comfortable in environments with other people even,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just that, just having those walls and being shut down and not breathing and not being able to just exist and feel comfortable in your own skin, in your own body, and an environment.
I love that. I think that gives them a perfect picture. And I know some people are listening like, oh, wow, yep, I've experienced that. I've gone through that. And that's a clear indicator that, some attention needs to be given to the heart space. And what could you say, what are some situations or circumstances that we go through that causes our heart chakra to become imbalanced? What are some things that we experience?
Hey Queens, isn't this such a great episode? Be sure to check out the Afro Healers Directory, where you can find healers in your area offering similar services to the guests on today's podcast. If you are a healer, please be sure to join the directory so that Black women can locate your healing services and offerings. To join and view the directory, please visit afroqi.com. Okay, let's jump back into this episode.
Yeah, and again, like I said, we live in a closed heart chakra society right now. Um, and I'm saying right now, I'm sure it's been that way, but it's getting worse. And
Yeah.
so there's so many situations just on the daily.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one of the things, obviously, like I said, an easy way to see it is in relationships.
Yeah.
And so, I work with a lot of women, as I'm sure you do, that a lot of times when women come to me, it's on the verge of a breakup, a divorce, or maybe they're in a relationship. So they're coming to me like they need their own coaching, but then they also need couples counseling because they're recognizing that all of their issues are coming up in their relationships and they're
Mm-hmm.
sabotaging them. And so a lot of it in the relationship piece is you've been hurt before in the past. Maybe there is trauma, maybe there's been abuse, or maybe you've just been hurt. Like maybe your heart has just been broken. Things have
Mm-hmm.
not worked out the way that you thought they were. You're just disappointed, you're frustrated. And so you end up shutting down, literally closing your heart, even though you might not realize it, right? It could be
Mm-hmm.
totally unconscious, but you end up shutting down because you're afraid to get hurt. You're afraid to let people in. So that's one way. I
Mm-hmm.
also see too a lot of, well, I don't trust myself, right? So just not having discernment. I don't trust myself to make the best decisions in relationships. I recognize that I've been attracting all the wrong kind of person in my life, and I'm
Yeah.
scared to make decisions in my relationships. I'm scared that I'm gonna keep attracting that wrong energy. So I don't even want to let people in anymore because I feel like I'm letting all the wrong people in. And then I'm doing all this work. I'm giving, giving, giving. That's another thing, like over giving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm attracting people who are not giving to me. And so now I feel like I can't give, or I don't know how to give, or I don't have proper boundaries in my giving. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of that, and that kind of goes back to the feelings of unworthiness and the lack of self-esteem. So just not even trusting your own judgment to make
Mm.
decisions in your relationships.
Wow, that is so deep. Oh my goodness, that's deep. what could you offer as ways for us to, because you didn't win in, you didn't tore us to shreds. We all got heart chakra issues. So what can you offer us to help us bring our heart chakra back into balance? What are some things that we can maybe do physically or eat, or just what could you offer to help us regain balance in this area?
Yeah. So first and foremost, I want to say, and I know, the breakdown of the chakras, which I think is awesome because you could literally talk about one chakra for like a whole weekend workshop or something, right?
Yes.
So I think it's so dope that you're doing this, that you're breaking it down one by one. But let me first say that even if you recognize that you have like, yo, my heart chakra is jacked right now, it's closed, it's imbalanced, still make sure that when you are working through the chakra system that you start at the root.
Yep.
Because one of the things that we do is, I know people take these online quizzes because it happens all the time. They're like, oh, I want to come get my chakras balanced. I took this online quiz and these are the chakras that are out of balance. And I'm like, okay. Or, they might be listening to a podcast like this and saying like, yeah, based on the information, there's a heart chakra imbalance. The problem is we tend to focus on the chakras that we want to, and we don't have a holistic approach and starting from the bottom up.
Absolutely, which is why I say at the start of each episode, if you catching us at brow, at throat, wherever you catching us, please go back to the home screen and start at root and work your way up. I am with you on that for sure.
Yeah, because remember, heart chakra is the bridge. It is right in the center. And so you do not want to have this big open heart chakra and then your root is closed. Because then guess what? Your heart chakra is going to be affected by that. And if you don't have enough to feel like I don't have enough to give, how are you going to give from your heart chakra? Right? Absolutely. If you're like struggling at the root and you like, I don't have enough. I'm in a phase of lack, right? You can't do it. Or you're stuck at the sacral chakra where, you can't express your feelings. Well, how are you going to express love at your heart chakra if you can't express your feelings? So you always start at the bottom and work your way up. So that's number one. Now, if we're getting specific to the heart chakra, there's many things that you can do. So, for instance, like I said, I do chakra balances. So you could come to somebody like me. I use a combination of Reiki, I use crystals, and I use aromatherapy. So those are some ways, and obviously you could do those on your own as well. But one of the things that I do is actually look at and see which chakras are in balance and work holistically on all of the chakras and give special attention to the one that's in balance. So you could do things like that. And so, for instance, like if you're using crystals, you would a very, very easy way. Like I used to teach a crystal workshop, and I'm so simplistic in this. People want to make things complicated, but make it real simple. If the heart chakra is green, with a tinge of pink, you just use green and pink crystals. Make it easy. So even if you don't know, I don't know what this crystal is, I don't know what this means, just by the color frequency, it is vibrating at the same frequency of the heart chakra. So, that could be your jade, it could be your emerald, it could be your malachite, those are all green stones. And then if we're looking at pink stones, it could be your rose quartz, your rhodochrosite. You can even use quartz to just vibrate and boost and enhance the energy. If you're a Reiki practitioner, you can use Reiki for all of these things as well. And I'm not gonna, go into that, but you can use, there's certain symbols and things that you can use on the heart chakra. For aromatherapy, I really like rose essential oil. I love jasmine. And so there's certain essential oils as well that you can use for that heart chakra. And then, like I said, breath. Like meditation, breath, breathing properly, not breathing from your chest, which I know we're talking about the chest right now, but that's shallow, but breathing fully from your diaphragm so that the breath is really traveling through your entire body. That's important. And then yoga. I can't forget yoga.
Yes, yoga.
And what's really cool about yoga and relating to the heart chakra. So the heart chakra, like I said, is the bridge, right? It is literally how I'm moving from my lower self or, the earthly person to the higher spiritual person. And the heart chakra is right there in the middle, that is in that transformation. So it is the period of transformation and change. And what's cool about that is yoga is actually the same thing. Like yoga literally means yoke or to unite. And it's yoking or uniting the lower self with the higher self.
Love
so
it.
They actually represent the same thing. So you can definitely include different yoga poses. Like camel is one of my favorite as a heart chakra opener. But there are various heart chakra opener poses that you can definitely do as well.
Love it. Lots of juicy information, lots of juicy tips. And I love that you listed things that are tangible for people to be able to access, outside of going to somebody, which I always recommend. But, there is the capability for some self-healing if necessary. And then just lastly, as we're wrapping up, well, how can we know that our heart chakra is now balanced? So you took us through this journey of ways for us to notice some imbalance, certain circumstances that causes us to be balanced. Now we have the tools and the resources to become balanced. How can we then know, like, okay, you've put in the work, the heart chakra it's in order now? How can we know that? How does that show up?
So you could do it on a basic, very physical level, right? And like when I'm working with my clients, I'll use a pendulum. So that's on a very basic, let me use a pendulum and see if my heart chakra is open, right? Now, how it manifests in life, there's so many different ways. So one thing is, are you able to be in a space of gratitude? Do you see the world or life or things, the glass half, not even half full, but full as opposed to empty, right? So can you embrace the fullness of life, of all that it has to offer, including the ups and downs, because that's the test. So can you have hardship? Can you have, maybe problems with people? Can you get ghosted by somebody and not be petty and be like, well, dang, can you rise above that and forgive and still be open and not allow past experiences to influence and go into your future relationships? Can you see the beauty in life, the beauty in things? Can you, can you just be happy and joyful and feel free and feel content, and no matter what's happening? So these are all signs of, heart chakra being balanced. You can forgive, somebody can do something for you. And let me just say, it doesn't mean that you're a pushover. It doesn't mean that people are taking advantage of you. It means that you can see what's going on. I'm aware that this person did something to me, I didn't like it. This person betrayed me. This person was talking behind my back. This person in some way or shape or form hurt me. I can see that, I can experience that, and I can still choose to forgive and move forward. That is a healthy heart chakra.
What I hear you saying is just being able to let go, just release.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And hearing you say that and then tying it back around to some of the symptoms that you noted, anxiety and panic, like that's from trying to hold on. Like we just need to breathe, let go. So I'm loving that connection to breath for sure. Definitely.
Breath is so incredibly powerful. And one of the things I learned a long time ago is the simple things that make the biggest difference.
Yeah, for sure.
We try to be so extra, and we just think things have to be so grand, and for it to really make an impact, it has to be big and huge and all of this. But it's really the very simple things. And so if you just had a practice of every day, I'm going to make sure I breathe for 5 minutes. It don't have to be 20. It don't have to be 30. It don't have to be, I got to sit here and I got to meditate and I got to have my music. Just sit and breathe fully. That will make such a huge impact in how you're living your life and your ability to let go.
Absolutely. Woo! Well, you done ripped us one and you mend us back and put us back together. So I'm just so thankful again for having you. And guys, again, I'm gonna have all of her information in the description. So just make sure you reach out. I will list some of her all of her services again Reiki intuitive healing, life coaching, couples counseling, Reiki masterminds, Reiki certification training, chakra balancing, cord cutting, dream interpretation, spiritual healing, and meditation training, guys. So please reach out to Avalaura for anything that she mentioned, any of the services that she offers. I personally, like I said, have received all of my Reiki trainings through her. So I'm just so blessed to have her here to talk about the heart chakra. So thank you so much again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I love it. And I'm excited.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us this week on the Afro Chi podcast. Be sure to visit our website at afroqi.com and on all social media platforms at the AfroQI. Subscribe to this podcast now so you never miss a show.